We're going to talk about some moments from the year. We're going to reflect.
I've learned a lot. I felt a lot. I'm excited to see what the next year has in store. Were you putting on the e.l.f. gloss? Lip
No,
oil?
this is the Fenty
Okay.
gloss bomb. This is like tried and true, the first gloss that she came out with. It's the best color. It goes with everything. I tried to be a little more like have like a colorful lip. I did like a berry lip liner. I thought I was like, do something.
We're very much in the same spirit and the same vibe today. We have our holiday sweaters on and they both are like navy. We both have our berry lip. That's just what the girlies are doing this holiday season.
Yes, exactly. We are on trend, but we are always also on the same wavelength,
Yes.
even when we don't plan it.
We are very much same person, different font.
Yes, exactly.
Very similar aesthetics, but different senses of style, if that
Yes,
makes sense.
yes, yes. If you go back and watch all of our episodes, if you look at all the photos we've taken, like you can literally see we have the same as like yes, same wavelength, same vibe, but with our own little twist on it, our own little aesthetic that we bring to it. And that's what makes us all work. You know what I mean?
Our execution is a little different. We have different strengths and different things that we like to focus on, but then you give me tips, I give you tips. It's so wonderful. I love it.
We gotta start how we always start. What's the drink of the day, girly?
The drink of the day. I'm really switching it up today.
Ooh,
I'm having a nice, crisp Diet Coke.
where are the Diet Coke girls at? The Diet Coke girls stand up.
I need to have a mini rant about Diet Coke very quickly because I am not a Diet Coke girly. I am not a soda drinker. Okay. And before you turn against me, because clearly I'm drinking one today, so you can't be mad. I never really understood until literally, I'm going to say 2 hours ago, the appeal of having an afternoon Diet Coke break because it never crosses my mind to have it. My go-to drinks are obviously water. We talked so much about how much we love water, coffee, tea. Those are my matcha. Those are my usual go-tos. Around 2-ish hours ago, I was literally thinking, what's my fun little drink going to be for the podcast? And I was like, I'm not in the mood for any of that. I realized we had a case of canned Diet Coke in our basement because one of our close friends really loves diet rum and cokes. So I was like, that sounds just like really refreshing. Put that in like a nice glass with some ice, crack it open, and it's crispy. So I need to give the Diet Coke girlies their props because I don't know. Though I wish it was a poppy. I'm not even gonna lie. I wish it was a poppy, but I don't have any poppy in the house right now.
No, girl, the girls rave about Diet Coke. Like I never I know about matcha girls. I know about girls who like lattes. I know about, but girls who like Diet Coke, that's a whole other stand. That's a whole other universe that I've never tapped into. Um, I do like a good Coca-Cola every now and then. But I've never even tried a Diet Coke before. I don't think I've ever even had one. So
I feel like it's very similar. And again, the Diet Coke girlies could come for my throat. I feel like it's very, very similar in taste. I feel like the appeal of it is that it's like 0 calories, 0 sugar, but it's obviously filled with chemicals like every soda under the sun. So
absolutely.
what can you do? But hey, it's hitting the spot today. So I have no complaints.
I feel like the crispiness of your drink and the sparkliness of your sweater and like it's bringing the holiday season together. You know what
That's
I
what I
mean?
needed. Yeah, I really wanted a cocktail, but it is far too early for that. And so we're having a Diet Coke.
We're gonna have to do an episode, like a nightcap episode, where we each make like a drink, like on camera, where
Mhm.
you make a cocktail, I'll make a mocktail, and we'll like show off our drink making skills.
However, I kind of did that before and it worked against me in that it wasn't alcohol, but I made peppermint tea for one of our episodes and we had it at night. And by the end of the episode, I felt like I had no energy. I was just like ready to go to bed.
We'll figure out the time of day. We'll figure out how we do it.
So I've realized I need like something with a little caffeine.
Okay, you need
So
a little kick.
a little bit, a little pep in my step. How about you, girl? What's the drink? Because I know you said you were making a fun one.
Well, I made similar drink to last time, where this is a dirty chai. It is the spiced chai concentrate from Trader Joe's with vanilla oat milk, 2 shots of espresso because I also need energy, um, and a splash of the gingerbread oat creamer. So it's like a very like spicy, like pick and drink, and that's what I need right now. Also, because like I have on my ugly sweater, so I felt like this like gingerbread
Oh, yeah.
latte
Show
chai.
off the sweater because it's very fun.
Oh yeah. So this is my ugly sweater. My favorite food is ramen. And I had to get an ugly sweater for work last year because we had an ugly sweater party. And my husband works at a gaming store, and this showed up at his store, and he was like, "It's perfect. She'll love it." So he brought it home for me, and I did. I this is like my whole personality. It has like onigiri on it and like little sushi rolls, and it's literally adorable. I love it.
That is so cute. And yeah,
Thank
it
you.
very much fits your vibe. I mean, we both love Japanese food and ramen, takoyaki, onigiri, sushi, any of it. We are down. But that's a really cute sweater, I'm not gonna lie. The
Thank
colors,
you.
they suit you very well.
Thank you. That's what I thought too. Like, it's honestly a cute sweater. It's not very ugly at all. Like, I would wear this. I'd style it up, and maybe I need to. Maybe I'll show you guys how I would style it up with a whole like outfit.
Yeah, I feel like you could absolutely do that.
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Well, once again, we've talked about everything under the sun without mentioning welcome to the Plan with Us podcast.
Welcome back to the Plan with Us pod, everyone. We're
Welcome.
excited to get into this episode today. Something else I realized about our podcast is that we don't introduce ourselves every time. And I guess we're also assuming that everybody that's watching has watched the previous and knows who we are. So, my name is Niara Gore. It's me and CG on all platforms, co-host of the Plan with Us Pod, and this is
Hello, I am Jess Raney at Jessie Track on all platforms. Other co-host of the Plan with Us pod, starting new good habits right as the year ends. Because yes, I think we introduced ourselves in the first episode, and then we never did again.
yes, yes. And I was listening to some other podcasts, and I was like, oh, they introduce themselves at the beginning of each episode. We should do that.
We're still new. We're still learning. This is episode number 6. So, but it is our final episode of 2024. Crazy.
Crazy, but it's an absolute perfect way to end the year. We're going to talk about some moments from the year. We're going to reflect. We're going to introduce you guys a tool or a system that you can implement. We're very excited about this. So let's dive in.
The whole reason that we are gathered here is to talk about our Proud of Me jars, which is a concept that Niara introduced to me. So why don't you, Niara, tell the people a little bit about what a Proud of Me jar is?
Yes. So it's incredibly simple, but something deeply impactful for your life and for your year. I first heard about this. I follow a creator named Skylar Marche. I think I've mentioned her before. She is one of my favorite creators of all time. Everything she does on the internet, I'm obsessed with. But she hosted a party like a couple years ago, and she gave everybody these empty jars with cork tops, and they were very stylish jars. Like, I don't know I don't know where she got these from. But the concept, the whole idea of it is that you take an empty jar in the beginning of the year, you have post-it notes and a pen, and you keep this jar by your bedside or in a place where you'll see it often. And every time you do something throughout the year that you're proud of yourself for, you write it down, you put it in the jar, and then at the end of the year, you go back and read through all the amazing things that you did this year. Um, I introduced this concept at our event that we had in the beginning of the year, at our workshop, and this is something I want to keep implementing forever and ever. It's also something that I really want to do for myself because I realized that one, I put a lot of pressure on myself every year. I'm always like, oh, I'm never doing enough, or I didn't achieve anything, or, all this self deprecating talk that we don't like. So this is something for me to look back and be like, whoa, you did some amazing things this year. Like, you should be proud of yourself. You should be grateful for all the amazing things that you have and the people in your life and the experience that you had this year and things like that. So that is the Proud of Me jar. These are literally from Target in the dollar section and regular post-it notes. And yeah, Jess's is a different color than mine.
I think these are so cute. Are they? Oh, yes. I have a clear jar and you have like a smoked ambery jar.
Yes. I remember I bought a couple different colors, so everybody's was kind of different. I did like clear, smoked, and I think like a green one as well. But yeah, I'm really excited to get into them. How did you like this exercise throughout the year?
It's something that I definitely want to keep doing next year. Um, I was saying to you that in the beginning of the year, I was very diligent with like as things were happening, I'd like put them right in the jar. And then, of course, a couple months go by, and then I was like, you know what? I need to put some more things in my proud of me jar. So I think only I sat down and like really reflected on it maybe like once a season. I think that was pretty much on point, like 4 times. So it wasn't something that was super high commitment. But I would sort of sit down every couple months once I remembered I had to put things in my proud of me jar and like reflect on the season and think about what made me proud or things that I did. Next year, I definitely want to get better at having like really little moments in there. Like I feel like your jar is fuller than mine because I could put like things that other people might not necessarily notice outwardly, but things I would be really personally proud of myself for. Because I think it's really important to remind yourself of those things because it's easy to look overarching on the past year and be like, I did this and I went to that and I accomplished this. But thinking about like those little goals that you don't necessarily speak into the universe, I think I'm going to focus on celebrating those in 2025.
Yes, yes, those little victories, things that we've overcome for ourselves. Like, I think that's why mine is a little fuller because every little moment I was like, I'm proud of myself that I did that. Tuck that in there real quick. So I'm just really excited to even see what's in there because I don't remember. Like, I literally don't even remember what's in here. So it's gonna be a surprise. It's gonna be a shock.
We're going in
Um,
blind.
we're going in blind. Oh my
Now,
gosh.
I did write dates for like each of the things that happened. I don't know if that's something that you did.
I wrote dates on some of them, but sometimes I would like just not want to forget the moment itself, so I just wrote it down and put it in there. Some of them do have dates, and I think next year I want to get better at writing the date on them, so I can be like, oh, I did that in July. Wow, what was I doing? So it's a work in progress. I think to figure out what the system is that will make this work the best. But getting it started and doing it anyway, I still think is a good start. Very
Yeah.
simple, very easy for anybody to do.
It can be very adaptable for you, I think was a big takeaway for me. So I was very curious for our conversation today to see the things that you wrote down versus the things that I wrote down and like how we were using this tool. Because this is something that
Yes.
we'd love to do every year, y'all. I'm just saying. When Plan With Us continues for years and years and years, as it is going to, we'd love our last episode of every year to be the Plan With Us jar review. So we knew that as soon as we officially launched the podcast in October, but even when we were talking about launching it back in June, that this would be like our last episode.
Yes. And we're
Should we crack into it?
Let's open up with some ASMR.
Oh my gosh. I don't have any nails on.
Me neither. I literally just took my nails off.
Also, don't look at them too closely. I need to paint them, but it's fine.
No judgment here. No judgment.
There's no judgment. All right. I'm cracking open. I'm dumping it.
Yep, dumping it on the desk.
We're dumped.
I want it to shuffle. I want to pick out random things.
Yes. Is that what we're gonna do? We literally haven't discussed this at all.
This is on the fly, you guys.
We knew that we wanted to do this episode, but we also had zero planning for Plan With Us. How we wanted to talk about these things. So it's gonna be just like a very chatty, obviously it's a very chatty, just sort of reflection episode. Yes. So should we just like go back and forth a little bit?
Yeah.
Some random moments. And then maybe, okay, because I know you mentioned that you wanted to pick like a top 3, but we didn't really review. Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll go back and forth for like, I don't know, how many? I was going to say like 10, but that might be too much. Maybe like 6 or 7 of them, and then we'll pick our top 3 from those.
Okay, let's do it.
That way we go through like 20-ish total, because I feel like if we went through every one of the jar, we'd be here all day.
We'd be here all day long. So
thinking on the fly. But this can be a great way to for the people to think of maybe some goals you want to do next year, because we aren't really talking at all about goal setting for the new year, but these could be some good examples.
Right. And also, like, don't be holding yourself to a physical jar if this is something that you can't get your hands on. Like, there's the note section in your phone. You can do a journal. It's just practicing gratitude and practicing being proud of yourself. That's really all it is. A jar is just a cute, fun way, because when you look at it, it's just a reminder, like, oh my gosh, it's filling up. Oh my gosh, what's it gonna say? Like, it just gets you really excited for the end of the year and to reflect. And it also could be a really fun, like, family activity. Could be a great party activity if people are open and the vulnerability and, you know, the trust is there and everything. Very trustworthy space here, very safe space here. So,
oh yeah, we're hanging out with the girls. Like,
yes,
we're excited. Would you like to start, my dear?
Okay, I picked one up. Okay, there's no date on it. Let's see. Oh, yes. It says, had a date day in New York City with my husband.
Oh, that's such a good one.
Yes. And it was after we had talked about doing little weekend getaways and planning intentional trips. I loved it because I was talking to my husband and we were just like, we just need to go somewhere. Let's just do something. And we planned the whole day in New York and it was so fun. Yes to more dates in 2025.
I remember being so proud of you because you were like, girl, I'm following up on my word, what we talked about literally in the podcast, and we're going on like a spontaneous day trip. I was like, yes, girl, as you should. Take a little staycation. That's such a good one.
So good. Okay, back in the jar it goes.
Okay. Let me shuffle. Shuffle, close my eyes. What do we got? All right. This is September 1st, is what it says.
Oh my gosh, what did it say?
I just love... This is the most me one that I could have picked from here, and I love, in contrast, what yours is compared to mine. You're going to laugh in a second. This says, harvested a 20-pound watermelon from the garden.
You're doing it, girl. There you go, girl. You're doing it.
Of course. You're like, we went on this trip to New York City. We're expanding our horizons. I'm like, I picked a really big watermelon.
This is something that you are proud of yourself for. A 20-pound watermelon? Is that what you said?
Yeah. It was huge.
Huge.
So, all right. A little backstory of why I'm so proud of this. You can take this as a goal to grow a plant, start a garden next year. I clearly really love mine because I think I have multiple things about my garden in this jar. But we started like a new garden patch this year. So we had 2 little patches in our very small backyard. and my husband expressed that he really wanted to grow watermelon, but living in Pennsylvania, it is not like a watermelon zone. Like it's not easy to grow watermelon from seed here. So I ended up ordering a watermelon sprout off of Etsy. And I thought I was getting 6 individual sprouts. I paid like $15 for these sprouts. Lo and behold, it comes in the mail. It's the tiniest package of all time. It's one tiny little sprout. It was like, if I remember to insert the picture in here, I will. I was laughing so hard. I was like, this better produce so much watermelon. And there was this one specific watermelon that started growing that we waited all summer to harvest because it needs to be a very hot temperature for it to like fully mature. And finally, September 1st, obviously, we harvested it. And I was like, this is the biggest watermelon I've ever seen. It was hefty.
There you go. Did you guys eat it and everything?
Oh, yeah. It was very difficult for just the two of us to eat it. I think we should ended up sharing it with some family and friends, but it was delicious. It was great. We're going to grow them again next year. But we said we'd be talking about everything under the sun today. We already are.
There you go. There you go. I love it. I love it. Okay. All right. Doing another shuffle. All right. What does this say? Oh, it's lengthy. What am I talking about? What is on here? Oh, this is deep, y'all. And also completely opposite of what I just talked about. But it's a vulnerable space. We're being, when it says, opened up about my feelings of loneliness and insecurity to my husband. Now, one thing you know about me, one thing you'll learn about me is that I'm a very confident person. I do like my alone time, and wow, I didn't think I was gonna open this one. This is really deep. But anyways, one thing I'm practicing is being very honest with my husband about my feelings. And not that I hide anything, not that I hide my feelings from him. I think I don't like to bring down any kind of morale or, like everything's good. So like, why am I thinking about these things? But, I have my own triggers and traumas and past experiences that sometimes lead my mind to other places. And it was really hard for me to just come to my husband and tell him how I was feeling because I didn't want him to think that any of it was his fault. Because it's not. It's not. And it's not that when I'm with him, I'm lonely or, he makes me insecure. It's none of that. It's me learning and growing about myself and understanding the things that make me feel beautiful, learning to accept the things that I love about myself, learning about the kind of people I like to be around, learning about the kind of company I like to keep, and sometimes realizing that I can be a little bit more selective because of my past and things that have been done to me or how I felt about certain people. And sometimes it makes me hard to be open to new people. But it was a really big day where I sat him down and we just really talked about things that we want to change in our life and things that'll make us feel better, people we want to be around more. And I think it was a really amazing and open conversation. I felt really proud of myself for taking that time to be open and honest with him about that. Therapy might be in 2025. Okay.
Girl,
So
that is the top of my resolutions list as well. That's a very big lesson to take in. So thank
yeah,
you for sharing. That's really wonderful.
of course. Yeah. So it's something, it seems like small or not like a tangible thing, but I felt it in my heart and in my mind, like I'm learning to accept myself and where I am and what I have and what actions I need to take if I want to grow. And that was it was a really touching and important conversation because he opened up as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not a very like feelingsy kind of guy, and that's okay. But we just sat down. We were like, we're 30 years old. Like, what do we want our lives to look like? How do we see ourselves? What do we want to change? It was a really great conversation.
And I think it's something very relatable. That's a topic that I actually do think about a lot, but I actually don't talk about it a lot. In that, as you get older and you have more life experiences, and I don't have as many friends or people in my life when I was 20 versus being 30. Um, Part of it is because of past experiences and trauma, and part of it is just, that's life has taken us on different paths. And I think it's important to think about the losses and the people that you've gained. And yeah, think really intentionally about the people that you want around you. And if you want more people around you, and if you want to open yourself up to those experiences, which can be very scary. So it's definitely a very, very relatable topic.
Yeah, yeah. And like chat, let us know if you've ever experienced something like that. And kind of maybe how you cope with those kinds of things. But as Jess said, when you get older, your circle gets smaller, but it doesn't make it less genuine. I care a lot about the people I have in my life. And the people I choose to be around, I love very, very much. So, and sometimes we're all busy, we're adults, like, we got to make time for each other and be around each other and things like that. And it's learning to cope with those times. All right, girl, your
All right.
turn.
Let's hope I don't get another watermelon one after that beautiful, deep conversation. Let's see. This one is January 28th.
Oh, I think I know what this is.
Oh,
Oh,
hosted a live event with my bestie. That's the best one. I think this was the very first one to go in the jar. So that's fun that I got to pull that one. We've already talked at length about our event, but we
yeah,
absolutely loved it so much. You guys already know. And if
it
you
was
want to be
so
event
great.
girlies, hey, what's up?
Hey,
Still love
girls.
you.
And any of our event girlies, if you have done your Proud of Me jar, we want to know. Okay? Yes.
Yes, follow up. Tell us if you did your Proud of Me jar. And tell us the memories that you pulled. We would like, if you don't want to comment them, you can like DM us or something, but I would love to hear if you did a similar exercise to us.
Wait, hold on. I picked up two. Oh, this is a good one. Oh, yes. I don't have a date on it. Damn it. It's okay. Um, so it says, got paid for my first full freelance video editing job with So Trill and Meta Ray-Bans glasses.
Nice. That's a big one.
That was a big one. So this year, I really took my freelancing very seriously. And I got this random DM one day from this woman who owns a management company that's bi-coastal, but she's mainly in New York. And she is the manager of one of my favorite painters of this like century. And her name is So Trill. And I've been following So Trill since college because she used to be a fashion illustrator, but now she's a full-blown acrylic painter. So when I got this email, I was like, what? Huh? How do you even know who I am and how'd you get my contact? But she reached out to me and she said, hey, we need somebody to edit some content and I've seen your work and I've heard from other people how amazing your work is. And the first thing they signed me up for was Ray-Ban Meta, which I was like, what? Like, I got to work with an artist I love. I got to work with an amazing company. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like it was a dream come true. And now I work with her all the time and do lots of projects with her. So incredible.
Yes, girl.
Ooh,
Snaps to you. Very exciting.
love
Growth
that
and
one.
prosperity. Keep it going for 2025.
Yes. Love
We're
that
really
one.
on a
Okay.
roller coaster this episode. I'm loving it. I'm already obsessed.
We said it would be.
We really did. Okay, let's see what we got. I'm going to take you. All right. February 11th. Oh, this one's simple but sweet. Hiked 7 miles in Valley Forge.
Oh,
I was beginning to start my hiking fitness journey, which I'd like to pick up more in 2025. Me and my husband went on a couple different trips that involved hiking this year. For Valentine's Day, I got us some really nice hiking boots, but that was like the first time that we really went on like a lengthy scenic hike, and it was really, really fun because we were vastly underprepared. Like I said, I got us hiking boots for Valentine's Day, so this was before, and we were just like in sneakers, and there were people literally around us with like the poles and like the backpacks and like full on gear. And we literally had Starbucks cups and we were in like Solomon sneakers and we were like walking through the depths of the forest. So, but I was still really proud of us because it was a tough hike. And maybe I'll pick some of the, I know I've put a couple different walking, hiking achievements in here, but that was really the start of it. And I'd like to continue.
Very nice. In February, actually, the beginning of February wasn't actually like crazy cold either. I remember it wasn't like
It wasn't
freezing.
bad. It must have been like in like the 50s. I was wearing I remember vividly, I was wearing one of those quarter zip like Sherpa sweaters and some leggings and my Solomons. And there wasn't like ice. There were like rivers running, but there wasn't like a lot of vegetation to be seen.
Okay.
A nice crisp hike.
That sounds really nice, actually.
Mhm. I need to do it
Okay,
again.
girl. Yes. All right. Digging in here, moving them around. No date on here, but loving this because it said recorded our first couple of episodes for the Plan With Us pod.
Here we are in the flesh. That must have been in the summertime then.
Must have been in the summer. Must have been early summer because I remember we were like on a roll. Like we were like recording. We had like 4 episodes done by the end of the summer before we had even launched, and that really actually set us up for success. And I was really excited about that.
It really
But
did.
yeah, I love that. Yeah, we're here and we're loving it. More to come. More to come, you guys.
Oh, we are not going anywhere. But we were definitely, we knew when we first started recording that not every episode was going to be like a banger because you do sort of need to get your cadence and your level of comfortability when you're talking for like a podcast. Um, so we were really working out the kinks. And I'm sure some of that footage will never see the light of day, but some of it already has. So
Yes, yes. That's when we're getting our bearings of the equipment, the time of day to do it, the some episodes didn't save and some were glitchy and some were, and that's we were learning. We're still learning. So
we are still learning. We're evolving, and I love that for us.
yes, love that.
Okay. Let's see what I got. September 7th, another September. Oh, this is cute. Celebrated my grandparents' 60th anniversary.
So cute.
That's very cute. Yeah, I'm very grateful to still have both of my grandparents on my mom's side. My grandparents on my dad's side, I didn't really get to know. They both passed away. My grandfather passed away before I was born, and my grandmother passed away when I was literally a toddler. But I'm very grateful that I've gotten to know my grandparents on my mother's side. And yeah, we got to celebrate with them. We took them to their favorite diner, and they don't really like to leave their house, so there were very limited options of places that they were willing to go, but they were super excited to have all of their grandkids at their favorite diner. We got to hear some stories about like how they met, which is like one of my favorite stories. And yeah, it's very sweet to watch them because they're still very much in love. So just a really precious day that I want to remember.
I love that you have such a beautiful example of like a long lasting love and um just seeing people just be together for 60 years and still be obsessed with each other is so cute.
Oh, yes. And they love to give me advice every time I call up my grandma of like, let's just talk about how me and Tim are doing and like give little pieces of advice and, things like that. And I can only hope that we'll still be as in love as we are now, 60 years from now. So very sweet.
Of course you will be. Tim is obsessed with you. I mean, the feeling is mutual between you two. But that man is obsessed with this girl. He
We are
loves this
obsessed with each
girl.
other. Oh, yes. I'm very lucky. Hi, guys. It is Jess checking in mid episode. Hope you've been enjoying. I know we're having an awesome time just chatting away. Now would be a really great time to take a break, get a drink of water, and follow us on all of our Plan With Us Pod social media platforms. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time a new episode comes out. We also post a ton of content over on our Instagram, and we'll always let you know when new episodes come out over there. And you can find our favorite clips from all of our episodes over on TikTok, which is always a fun time. You can find us on all platforms at Plan With Us Pod. Leaving a review on your favorite podcast listening platform is also a huge, huge way to help us grow our community. So we appreciate every single review that is left, and we appreciate every single one of you. So without further ado, let's get back into the episode.
Oh, I have a date on this one. February 23rd.
All right. February coming through.
So it says, submitted the Launch Gen Instagram strategy. So a little backstory on this one is I work for a financial firm, a sector of a financial firm that hosts this camp every year that I teach at over the summer that I talked about before. I'm very fond about and I love it. But I only work in the capacity of being a team lead and a teacher during the camp, which I run my personal branding courses and all things like that. One of my goals for this company is to work with them in a bigger capacity. And I presented to them that I wanted to run their social media. And though we haven't really done much of it this year, which is fine because things take time, I submitted this as truly truly stepping out. Like, okay, like I don't know if you guys want this. I don't know if this is in the budget for you to hire me for this, whatever it is. But I was like, I would love to run your social media. And I made an entire strategy, a full deck. I did like a brand deck and pick fonts and colors and reference. Like I did this it's huge pitch deck I did for them. And they took it and they paid me for it. It was a one-time fee, but the fact that they were like, we trust you and we're going to use this as our like social media Bible when we have to refer it and give it to an intern or something like that. And I was like, and that's a start. And that was me stepping out on faith of myself, being like, I can do this. It doesn't hurt to ask. It doesn't hurt to put myself out there. So
nice. Yeah, that's a good reminder to believe in yourself and take some risks sometime, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Love it. Love it. All that business. More business in 2025.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Here we go. July 7th. We're really bouncing all over the year. Oh, this I feel like is kind of related to one you just talked about. Went on my very first work trip in DC.
Yes, girl.
This is the first time, this year was the first time I went on like a trip that like my work paid for. Actually, no, that's a lie. Back when I worked at like a skincare store in college, I did have training in New York City that they paid for and things like that. But this was like a full week. And I did talk about it a little bit in the podcast episode that we recorded back in the summer. But it was a really cool experience because this was the first work trip, I should say, that actually had something to do with the field that I'm passionate about, which I'm a graphic designer full time. So it was a conference for creatives and graphic designers, and I got to meet some new people and hear some really inspiring talks. And I have copious amounts of notes and still learn some techniques that I'm using in my design work today. So I'm hoping to go on another trip next year in that capacity. But it was a really cool week.
I love that for you. Yes, girl. This company needs to be sending you everywhere. All the work you be doing, girl. You be staying busy with them.
We're starting to talk about like goals for next year, and my boss did mention like put a conference in there, like that they want me to go somewhere else. So we're gonna try to make it a yearly thing.
Love that. Love that. Oh, this is very adult, very grown up. It says opened a high yield savings account, and this was on March 10th.
Yes, girl. Yes,
Yes.
snaps for the high yield savings account.
This was right after my husband and I got married, and we had a whole talk about our finances. We had to get real serious. Should we have discussed finances prior to getting married? Absolutely. Did we? No. So we sat down, we talked about all the money that we got from as wedding gifts and stuff we had in our own savings and our goals. It was a really big day. And we were like, yeah, we need to figure out the best account that could be growing that we could add to. And we opened a high yield savings account. We just felt so grown up doing that. That was a very big adult decision with our money that day.
Yeah, we also opened a high yield savings account. I don't know if it was this year, but it was because we've been saving to buy a house for the past like year and a half. Um, but that's when we also first found out about high yield savings account. I'm pretty sure at your wedding, my husband talked to Derek about high yield savings accounts and how you guys should have one.
Yes, I think so. I think that's one of the things that actually Derek had mentioned. He was like, "Yeah, we should get that because I was told that this is really important." And I was like, "Word, yeah, yeah, we need to do that."
We actually went to a baby shower last weekend and we ran into a couple that we met at a previous wedding who were engaged at that wedding, and now at this baby shower, they were married. And my husband was still talking to them about why they should open a high yield savings account. It's a topic he's very passionate about, but it's been a big year for us for sure as far as saving and getting ourselves in line financially. Because when you buy a house, everything needs to be buttoned. And we have a little way to go still, but so I relate to that in the big girl decisions this year.
Yes, I love that Tim wants everybody to be financially successful.
I think financial freedom is a wonderful thing for everyone to pursue, especially of our age, because it is not easy.
Yes, yes. All right, girl. Guess you want to do two more each?
Sure. Yeah, how are we doing? Yeah, we can do two
We're good.
more.
We're good on time. I think. Yeah.
All right. Let's see what we got. May 19th. Oh, this is cute. Went to Knoebels with the girlies. I took a little day trip with my hometown girls. We went to Knoebels, which is a very old theme park in the middle of Pennsylvania. So it was like a two or 3 hour drive for us. And we all like piled in the car and we all went, and it was just a really fun, wholesome day. So
Very
that's a
nice.
sweet little memory, short and sweet.
Yes, and memories are good things to be. You want to be proud of yourself for because you're creating these special moments with people you love. So I love that.
Yeah. And I don't know if I mean, I have pictures of that, but I don't know if I would have remembered it necessarily thinking back on my year because it was such like a small little day, but it was such a special day. So I'm glad I wrote that down.
Yes. All right. I picked my next one. No date. Got married
Oh, we know the date for that one.
February 29th. Leap year. Yes. I married my absolute best friend. The best decision ever. I love this man to absolute pieces. I'm obsessed with him. That is my boo thing, my everything. I love that man. And it was so cute and such a small little wedding, but it was perfect. The weather was gorgeous at the end of February. It wasn't even like cold. We took fun pictures by the church, by the cafe. My bestie was my witness. She came and she signed my papers. It was just wonderful. Derek's best friend flew out from Colorado. It was, it couldn't have been better. It was incredible.
It was
Yeah.
such a special day. I loved that day so much. We were so honored to be there. I mean, obviously since it was such a small wedding, but it was so like personal to you guys, and it was just so much fun to be like, yeah, just running around Haddonfield taking photos of you guys, and it was super super cute.
Yes. And we didn't know how that day was gonna go. And there was a lot of anxiety leading up to it because we didn't have a big wedding. We didn't have a lot of people to invite. So we were like, oh, like what is this gonna be like? But we had so much fun. We were so happy. The thing I remember the most about it, other than the fact that I got married, of course, is Derek's best friend travels with an entire DJ kit. And we
Yes.
didn't We didn't know he was bringing it either. We were like so surprised. And then we had some time between eating and going to the municipal office to like do the ceremony. And he whips out like decks, a laptop, and stuff. We were like, what is this? He was like, yeah, I'll DJ. It was like our little reception. Nothing we ever thought was gonna happen. I ordered some drinks from like Dash, what was it, GoPuff. So I had like Poppy and like it was so thrown together, but it was perfect. It was the most perfect day ever.
Such a little impromptu reception, but I loved, oh my gosh, it was so fun. Yeah, I got to get on the DJ set up a little bit.
Yes.
And yeah, we were a small but mighty party. The vibes were high.
Yes. It was so fun. I replay that day in my head constantly. I love it.
So much fun. That's the most important one, for real.
Yeah.
Such
I
a
wasn't
good
sure how I
time.
was gonna pull it either, but you know.
I think I have one more. Let's make it a good one. March 16th. Ran my first 5K. That was a challenge. Let me just say. I don't know if I'm a runner, okay, but I've done it once. And that was really fun because we literally went to Washington, D.C. So I've been Washington, D.C. twice this year. And accompanied a friend of mine who I've had for years. And she went sober last year and picked up running as like a hobby. And she reached out to a group of friends and was like, does anyone want to participate in this with me? Going to DC in March and running a 5K, sort of celebrate her sobriety. And I was like, sure, why not? So I did like a little couch to 5K program and we went there together and it was really challenging, but fun to run together because we were not we were not well afterwards.
I love that so much. I didn't know the story behind why you did it. I love that.
It was a very
Oh,
sweet memory. And then we
that
got
is
to
so
sort of like
incredible.
explore the city afterwards, even though we were so stiff and tired.
I don't know if I could do it, girl. Kudos to you.
I thought about running another 5K, but that was right after we got back from Disney and I was deathly ill. So that ended up not working out. But hey, at least I did it once, you know?
Yes.
Good job, body.
Yes.
We're going to continue to work on, fitness goals and things like that in 2025. That
Good
was a big
job,
one for
girl.
me. Thank you.
Yes. All right. Last one for me. Shuffling, shuffling. I got some of these things like cut tight too. I don't want to see nothing. This is a good one to end on. So it says launch generation summer, exclamation point, as I explained that I work at launch generation. But what made this really special, as it said, interviewed Allison McNara of Mara Beauty. Um, so this year they left me in charge of organizing our leadership panel for the camp. And I was very excited, very honored to do it. But I was like, I had to dig into my network. I was like, oh my gosh, who can I have talk and inspire the kids? Like I gotta inspire the kids. Um, so a brand that I have been working with for almost 2 years now, Mara Beauty. You can find them at Sephora. I am very obsessed with them. They're like a very natural algae based skincare company, and they have the most amazing lip balms, this incredible face oil, all this amazing stuff. Look that stuff up. By the time this episode comes out, if you need a last minute gift for a skincare girly, Mara Beauty is it. But I reached out to them and I was like, hey, this is crazy. This is, you can say no, you're a busy lady. I get that. But I reached out to the founder of the company and she was stoked to speak to the kids and be a part of this leadership panel. She couldn't come be in person, which was okay. We did it via Zoom and the kids, like, I might actually cry talking about this. But
Oh,
it was really amazing because one, the kids loved it. Oh my god, I really might cry.
oh,
I didn't cry when I pulled the one about getting married, but I'll cry about this. The kids loved it so much and they were so inspired by Allison. They really were. Even the guys, like the boys were like, yo, like, should I start a skincare line? I'm like, yes, like, do it. But they were so inspired by her story. Um, Girls were like, can I intern for you? Do you have internships? Like the kids, it was really insane for the kids. So I love that the kids just like loved it so much. And what I also realized with that, I hate crying on camera. Sorry, turn it around.
No, Niara, it's okay. This is very sweet. You're making me emotional. We said we were going to laugh and we said we were going to cry. So here we are.
It made me really proud of myself and how far I have gotten with like the things I've done.
It's important to be proud of it, you know?
I was extremely just proud of myself because all the hard work that I've done with creating content, building my brand, and this amazing network of people I have in my corner, and the fact that I was able to bring this to the kids. And I know it seems like so silly, but I felt like this was a really valuable moment to show that I deserve to be teaching at this camp and I deserve to be in this space. Um, and she gifted all the kids a lip balm, and they left camp with like a little prize. And this is why you do this. And this is why you do this exercise. Because I get really wrapped up in my head that I haven't achieved anything and I have nothing to show for like these 30 years of being here. So when I had this moment, I was like, this is why I do what I do. And this is why I put myself out there. And this is why I do what I do for these kids and for myself because of these kinds of moments. And it was a real like full circle moment to be like, I'm just proud of myself for all the work that I've done. And I was able to share that with my camp. So
you should be very proud. Yeah, I think that is the whole point of this exercise, is to really reflect on everything that you can accomplish and the things that you can accomplish in the future. And because, yeah, I would say more on the day to day, unfortunately, and I feel like this is a human nature thing, we talk down on ourselves a lot more than we praise ourselves. And I feel like in that moment, you were coming to like some of that imposter syndrome sort of melting off you, which is a very freeing feeling. And it's beautiful to have those moments of like, I did this. No one else did this but me. Obviously, you know, the camp gave you the opportunity to share this thing with all of these people, but like you did that. And it's very important to be proud of all that you've accomplished and, you know, move in the children, move in the next generation. And I know you feel very close to all of them during that camp. So it's like your little babies, you know, feeling inspired. So
yes,
absolutely, girl. Feel those emotions.
yes. Oh man. All right. I can't see on my glasses.
We'll take a little minute to clean off the glasses.
Yeah, this is a good time for our midway break. You know, I think we should stop right here. We're good. We're good right here. All right.
I'm reopening the ones that I shared so that I can pick my top 3.
Now I'm gonna have to figure out how to dive back into this jar, so I gotta go through all of them.
Yeah, I feel like because I have a lot left. I can't even hold. I'm trying to hold it to the camera. It's not going to work. But yeah, I feel like I'm going to have to take some time to like open these and like write in a journal, maybe reflect.
Yes. I don't want to forget any of these amazing moments.
Overall, I feel like 2024 was a year of a lot of lessons, but I would say overall a good year. I'd look back on it on something of like, I've learned a lot. I felt a lot. I'm excited to see what the next year has in store.
Yeah. This gets me excited for like what's more to come in life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'm really happy that we did this because I remember ending 2023. And even though we had done like our talk show on Instagram and like all that stuff, it was just hard for me to think. I was like, what did I even do this year? Like, what did this year even mean? This year went by so quickly. Like, I feel like I didn't do anything. Um, And this is why I felt like it was just so important to do this. So I can just really appreciate the year. And not every year is going to be the most amazing year of your life, but there was good, there was bad, and but you want to be able to pull that good out so you can just appreciate your life a little bit more. And that's what we did here, and I love that.
My number one, of course, and I'm not just saying it because we're on the podcast right now, is hosted a live event with my bestie.
Yes.
That is my number one. I would say my number two would be celebrating my grandparents' 60th anniversary. Because I think that is just such a sweet memory. It was such a special day. And I think it's a day that I will remember forever. And then the third one I'm going to say is ran my first 5K because that was hard. And I need to recognize that I can do hard things.
Yes. Yes. Yes, girl.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, it was getting married is
Of
number one,
course.
obviously. That is the highlight of my year. My loved ones were there. My now husband, who I'm obsessed with. Yes, best day ever. My second one is getting paid and booking my first big freelance job this year. Um, that was huge. That was a big one. And then the last one was the last one I just read because I didn't realize how much it impacted me so much was having the interview with Allison from Mar Beauty. And I guess, yeah, overcoming some imposter syndrome. I love that.
It was a big year.
Big year. Big
I can't
year.
believe it's coming to a close.
Oh my gosh. Amazing year. And of course, we both have still so many. I put the rest of them back in my jar.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't wait to sit down and crack open the rest of these and really reflect on how this year went. I don't even know what else is in here. Like this, if we only pulled out 8, I don't know what else is going on in here. What else is happening in here? Oh my goodness.
There will be a lot of laughter. There will be a lot of tears. There will be a lot of reflecting. And I think there'll be a lot of motivation to continue some of those goals into 2025. I'm excited to do this again in 2025 to
Yes.
keep this tool going because I think obviously it's very, very valuable. I'm feeling very inspired right now.
I love it. And that's the whole point. That's the whole point of this thing. All right, let's reflect over this exercise. One, thank you for being a safe space for me to open and be vulnerable and share amazing experiences with. Not only to like reflect on them as they happen, but I shared a lot of these experiences with you in real life, and I'm very honored to have you in my life. Um,
Same
I
girl. You know we love each other to death.
yes, absolutely love you to absolute pieces. This is my girl. I will fight for my girl. That's my girl. How did you feel about this exercise?
Oh, I loved it. That I honestly I'm feeling a lot more reflective even than I thought I would, which is kind of feels silly to say. But yeah, going into it being like, oh yeah, we're going to talk about all the things we did in 2024 and then pulling just those 7 or 8 items and seeing how much was left in the jar still to review. It's like, oh, we did in fact do a lot this year and we
Yes.
accomplished a lot and there was a lot of things to be proud of. So I'm feeling very introspective currently, which I really like that feeling. Um, so yeah, I think 10 out of 10 would do again. We'll continue to do again.
One, I learned I need therapy bad, uh, badly. Uh, but not so much to say like I'm broken or bad or whatever. I just realized I'm learning so much about myself. And with everything that we've talked about, even these past couple episodes, turning 30, accepting our bodies, experimenting with clothing, which is what we do with Newly, like just having new experiences. Um, I'm just learning how much of like more of a complex human being I am, and I don't give myself enough credit to show how and I hate to say this kind of things about myself, but like how amazing I am. And I'm not saying that to be like, oh, I'm so great, I'm so
Well,
amazing.
you are, girl, so I will double down. You are amazing.
But I do think that this was very powerful to see the growth in myself, even this year. Probably me thinking if I didn't do this, like again, I didn't do nothing this year, but no, I did a lot. I did a lot of stuff this year, and I'm very proud of that. Proud of myself. That's for Patrick.
I also think it can, something I'm pulling from this is that it can be scary to dig deeper and feel those emotions, but at the same time, it's very rewarding. And yes, it did remind me that finding a therapist is like number one on my to-do list in 2025. Um, in that I feel like, especially, I'm like saying a lot of filler words because I'm trying to find the way to say this correctly. Feeling those deep emotions is something I can veer away from sometimes. And I know you can feel the same way because you just expressed it in this episode. Because we don't want to dull the mood. There's so many heavy things happening in the world right now and all the time that sometimes your internal problems can feel quite small and you don't want to like lower the mood by digging into them. But it's important to reflect on those things as well because it helps develop you as a person. And even thinking back to our conversation or our little bit about comparing our 20-year-old selves to our 30-year-old selves, how much we've developed and matured and changed. And I think for the better. I mean, I think we're doing great. I look back at my 20-year-old self and I'm like, it's going to be okay, girl. Don't worry about it. It'll all work out. But to think about not even in the next decade, but in the next year, how much we can dig into those topics and develop and grow personally. And even though I feel like one of the most important things is to be proud of yourself as a person and to be a good person, that there's always room to improve and grow. So that's something that I'm really excited to tackle in 2025.
Yes, girl.
Dig into it a
And
little bit more.
yes. And that's why this episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Sign up for just kidding.
We do not have any sponsorships, if only.
But yes, just like allowing ourselves to feel these feelings, and we're only human, so and everything that you just said resonates so well because yes, there's so much going on in the world, and there's so many problems that we feel like are so much bigger than us. That when we think about ourselves, we think about ourselves as this tiny speck that doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. But this exercise is to show how much these moments matter. It's funny because we've talked before about how like things aren't that serious and how we're literally a speck on this floating rock. So why do you take things so seriously? But this is an exercise to understand that your life holds importance and the things that you experience in life matter. And you should really just think about the moment that you're in and really take joy in this moment that you have because this moment is fleeting. So this is a time to just remember and be grateful for being alive, being able to be alive in this time, being able to be around the people that you are, have the friends that you have the family that loves you. I just think that this is like so important to allow us to feel our big feelings and love ourselves even more. So I really love this.
Yes, girl. I absolutely agree with all of that. And I think, yes, we do say that phrase a lot of like, you're just a speck on a floating rock. And I think in certain contexts, it can be a comforting thing. And in certain contexts, it can be a challenging thing. And that you want to challenge yourself to take those everyday moments with a little more sincerity, a little more importance. Because there'll never be a moment like the one you're living in right now. And I think it's important to look back and reflect on that because life is so busy that you don't always get to. And I also don't think it's necessarily healthy to be constantly looking at life that way, you know, because we need to have those ebbs and flows, those balances of, you know, I'm taking the season to work on myself and I'm taking the season to celebrate the things that I've accomplished and the things that I've worked on. Because if you were just like really working on yourself constantly and not giving yourself a break, that would be very tiring. I can imagine feeling very drained. That's how you get very burnt out. But then if you're always just celebrating, you aren't doing the work. So
Exactly.
we're complex creatures. And I think this is a good exercise for putting in the work and reminders of how we want to put in the work in the future. Maybe
Yes.
celebrating a little bit of both.
Yes. It's a balance. It's a balancing act. We're balancing this amazing thing called life and figuring out, how to take the good with the bad. And if you aren't learning and growing from it, what are you doing? I think you literally said that last episode. Now that I think about that, because we talked about the hosting. Like, if you aren't having new experiences, if you aren't reflecting, and you aren't learning and growing, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think that's a theme that's come up a couple times, but it's a good one.
It is a good one.
But I think this
Amazing.
has been wonderful.
I think it's been great. I really enjoyed this. I'm excited to dig into this a little bit more. I might sit down with my husband later and we'll go through it.
Yeah, that would be very fun. This has gotten me sort of fired up for goals and plan making in 2025, because this is still, when we're recording this, it's pre the holidays, as in pre like Christmas and New Year's and all of that. So I feel like I'm not quite in that headspace, but this has started to get the wheels turning, and I'm excited about it.
Love that. Love that. We have to have a planning session soon anyway, like a 2025 plan with us pod planning sesh.
Yes.
And we probably should talk about 2025 and what we want to do and things we want to accomplish. And we have to talk about our events and all those good things.
So many good things coming up. Yes, we need to get together in person.
Yes.
Sometime between Christmas and New Year's, we will have a little S day. Maybe even record an episode in person. Who are we?
Maybe we'll do that.
But yeah, one of the biggest accomplishments of this year was us starting this podcast, which feels like it was just a blink ago. I don't even know how to describe it, but here we are, rounding out the year together.
And I'm so proud of us.
Yes. It's been almost a year since, not the podcast going live, but the idea of the podcast being formed.
Yes. Oh my goodness. And to see that idea come into fruition. And there's only up. We're only going up from here.
We are. I'm proud of all the work we put into it. I'm proud of all the work that we will continue to put into it. I'm thankful for all of the girlies out there listening. I'm thankful for all of you guys who have talked to us about it in person. I'm thankful to the people who have talked to us about it online. I'm thankful to the silent listeners who are just observing but taking it all in. And I've really been impressed with how much this project has already impacted the people around us. It excites me greatly. So thank you guys for listening.
Thank you guys so much. We love you guys so much. Thank you for joining us with Plan With Us Pod 2024. Until next time, be sure to follow us on all of our socials. We are Plan With Us Pod on everything. I don't know the state of TikTok past January, from what the inklings that I'm hearing, that TikTok may not exist anymore, but just be on the lookout for that. Follow us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, and listen to us on all platforms where we stream. And we love you guys. Have an amazing end to this year. Happy holidays, and we'll see you next year.
We'll see you next year. Hey, see you next year.
Hey, see you next year.
And with that, the 2024 season has come to a close.
Bye, y'all.
See you later. Bye.
Oh my gosh.
You know I had to end it with being ridiculous.